All right, and we're back for the final Westworld review of Season 3. We got the full crew here, including Carlo with his neck fully repaired, more or less.
I was here last week.
Yeah, but you got the bad neck, and then you had to leave halfway through.
Yeah. No, yeah, my neck's better. That massage gun's fucking amazing.
We've got the pain in the neck sitting next to him, and then we've got Lucas.
Yay!
I hate you.
All right, I know we've been doing this every week, but now it's just tradition. Who wants to recap the episode?
Lucas does.
Nope.
I mean, there's only an hour and a half.
Actually, you can't let me do this one. I unfortunately, I've been working up until right now, and I had to
let's tag team this. Let's just kind of go through and hit all the beats here.
Yeah.
Dolores and Caleb. Caleb grabs her pearl because of his EMP-proof headset, and he's instructed to grab the pearl, and then he goes downtown to the locker, and he rebuilds her into her original body, which is much stronger. And then she's like, blah, 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 I'm going to help you. It's all about free will and choice. And then they make their way through downtown, where she's using the Rico app to cause chaos and hire mercenaries to do riots and fight the cops. And all the riots are eerily similar to COVID riots going on right now, and everybody's wearing masks, so it's very weird. And eventually she gets attacked by first Charlotte Dolores, like in a mental battle, which I didn't really understand that part. And then eventually, of course, she gets attacked by Maeve, and she tells Caleb to keep going. Caleb meets up with his old buddies who help him along. And then Marshawn Lynch dies, and he gets into a magical police helicopter that appears out of nowhere that they have control of, that takes him to the Insight building, where he makes his...
that police helicopter?
No idea. Nobody tells us. With very little resistance, he makes his way into the Insight building, where the first room he gets to has everything he needs, and is very quickly captured, to where he finds Dolores after she got knocked out by Maeve. Long story short, Rehoboam is wiping Dolores' memories to try to get to the key. Dolores doesn't actually have the key, but she's dead and gone. Before she dies, she and Maeve make amends. Maeve realizes Dolores was in the right and wasn't actually trying to destroy humanity, because Dolores saw the beauty in humanity. Non-important stories that might be important later. Man in Black tries to kill Bernard, and Stubbs shoots Stubbs. Bernard goes badass, knocks him down. We find out the fifth pearl is Lawrence in one useless scene that told us nothing except maybe set up Lawrence for next season. And then Bernard realizes, after meeting up with his wife after 35 years, who calls him Arnold, and the subtitles now call him Arnold, which is also telling, that he's the key. He gets the package, and he goes into the Valley Beyond, and he wakes up after the credits covered in dust, saying, well, we don't really know what the hell's happening with him. And also in the post-credits, the Man in Black tries to go, where, I don't remember what city he was in, but somewhere in Asia. Dubai. Middle East. And he knows that Charlotte Dolores is secretly making more hosts. He wants to shut it down, and he's killed by his host version, who she's going to use to kill everybody. Did I miss anything big?
Well, I guess we're done here. That was it. That was such a nice wrap up.
Well, now we could talk theories and things I missed and thoughts. And
you missed the fact that I was right and Dolores was fucking good. Sorry.
We were right. Carlo was the one that didn't like Dolores.
Oh yeah.
No argument here.
I was really... It took 3 seasons for her to get here, and now she's dead.
Now, Lucas.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna bring her back? Because when we watched this episode, we had like a light discussion about this. So I want to hear your thoughts before we say what we're gonna say. Do you think they're gonna bring her back, or is this version of Dolores dead?
No, she has super plot armor. There's gonna be another locker with her body in it. I had a huge problem with that, by the way.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about this version of Dolores or Dolores? Are we talking about Evan Rachel Wood or Dolores?
Are we going to see Evan Rachel? That's your question. Are we going to see Evan Rachel Wood again?
Because Jonathan Nolan is quoted as saying, "I fucking hope not," when asked whether Evan Rachel Wood is gone. Like, he's basically saying she's coming back. But he said, let me clarify, Dolores is gone.
Dolores Prime is gone. That was the one whose story we watched unfold over the last 3 seasons. She's completely gone.
Yeah.
She's dead. She's like not. No, she's never coming back.
You don't think there's a backup?
For her, no, because they made it such a point to.
They closed her arc. They finished it.
Yeah, and the fact that every single Dolores copy was like their own version at the end, like she was very unique in and of itself.
Because that would be more of a character development if she emerges out, like somehow she comes back online, but she decides to like re-identify herself, like she wants to be known as something completely different. So like Evan Rachel Wood comes back, but she's me, whoever me is, and not Dolores, not human hating Dolores.
I stand by my theory of television, which is if they run for 6 seasons or however many seasons, because Jonathan Nolan still won't say how many seasons it's going to be, regardless of what the contracts or the news is saying.
Mm-hmm.
If I know television, whatever the second to last season is, we'll see this Dolores come back in the cliffhanger before the final season. And then it'll be like, da-da-da, then final season she'll be back to do whatever the final step of her plan is. If they bring her back.
I don't think they will.
Well, the question is, really, how many seasons are they going to do?
Oh, yeah, here we go.
As of 10 hours ago, they say they still don't know.
Well, so when I looked it up, and I looked it up a little bit more, yeah, they've only been greenlit for one other season. The showrunners are on board for up to 6. But that doesn't mean that the show itself is greenlit. So HBO is only going to give this another season, and I think they're going season by season.
Which is, like we talked about, it's standard. Even Game of Thrones was season by season.
So based on that, question is, two questions. How is next season gonna fare now that Dolores Prime is dead? Number 2, how is it really gonna fare due to the fact that we're probably not gonna see another season for 3 years?
Maybe more than that. Because the production value of this show right now is at such a level that you can't degrade it anymore. And with all productions being shut down,
but what I was also reading is Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy just basically said it sucks and it's probably going to cost us something, but for right now they just wrapped the season. They weren't going to be shooting anything for a little while as it is. They haven't even started writing the next season.
Yeah.
So for them, they haven't lost any time yet.
I was just thinking Lucas is finally going to get like his fun, I just want to see killing with Hale creating an army of hosts that wants to kill the human race. Now
Hell yeah. Now we're getting into Terminator.
Yeah,
I really hope we just lead into Terminator.
Well, I think that's what the robot Man in Black's going to be.
Terminator War?
Oh, like he is like the T-1000 of their little host army.
He's got all of William's abilities, but now he doesn't have the weakness of a human body.
What is the current standing of all these companies right now? Is it all up in the air? Like what's Delos? What's Insight? Like what are they now? Is Insight gone because Rehoboam is now deleted?
Are you saying
which was a little too easy?
You'd like some insight into this situation?
Oh God. Well, okay, so Delos is still active. They have active parks. Also,
because Sirach is still alive, and so is Charlotte Hale.
The Man in Black, apparently he still has a lot of money. They just have to prove that he's still alive.
I'm guessing they will probably have William buy back Delos, and Sirach will rebuild.
But now it's all going to be host run.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it'll be really Charlotte Dolores. And I'm now definitely calling her Charlatan because she's not really Dolores.
A charlatan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think she's going to be pulling all the strings, and the Man in Black will just be her enforcer.
I'm really irritated by her backstory. It doesn't sit right with me.
She was like briefly on Maeve's team for like 2 scenes last episode.
Yeah, it was just really upsetting. Like she, at the end of that post-credit scene, she said that Dolores had strayed from like her path and now she wants to kill all the humans. But mid-season, she was having like this existential crisis of actually being human. And the only reason why she wants to kill humans again is because humans killed
Her
family?
humans.
No, Dolores killed her family. Humans didn't kill her family.
Technically, it was the humans, but she blamed it on
Sirach killed her
Dolores.
family.
Yeah, that was
Dolores
Sirach.
didn't kill her family.
That was Sirach, yeah, and
Mhm.
he's human. So
But he was a puppet. That was weird too. I was like,
by the
is
way,
Sirach a fucking host?
I
What's
love the
happening?
reverse Wizard of Oz thing.
Yeah, that was weird.
I liked it. I thought it was like, oh, cool. Like he's the puppet to this thing that he also, which is also him.
I'm upset I didn't think about that, considering like it was being run by Rehoboam.
Yeah, he was a voluntary puppet.
Is there enough of Sirach left to rebuild Rehoboam?
Wait, Sirach is dead. I thought. Oh no, we never.
You didn't see him
saw
die.
God's
You didn't see a
death.
body.
So this is my thing. Technically, there's still all those outliers in the freezer, right?
Yeah,
So if he wants to rebuild Rehoboam, all he needs to do is get back to his brother.
his brother.
I mean, technically speaking, wouldn't he have a backup of Rehoboam?
It's called Solomon. Couldn't you just restart Solomon? An EMP wouldn't have destroyed it if Maeve and Dolores are still alive.
But Solomon had some flaws. It was kind of schizo.
But he used Solomon to build Rehoboam the first time.
Yeah.
So then,
You have a base. You're not starting from scratch.
Yeah.
But either way, like, there would be a data backup somewhere of just the configuration.
Well,
and
to
how
me,
to
that
build it, schematics.
that's why I was like, kill Sirach. You have to kill Sirach, otherwise it's just all going to start again. It's all loops.
I mean, what to me it doesn't make to me the EMP since Dolores' brain did not
Also,
get
chat is
destroyed-
very quiet. If you guys have any part in the conversation, go ahead and join.
Since Dolores' brain did not get destroyed by the EMP, that leads me to believe that Solomon also was not destroyed by the EMP. Thus, like what Nick said, just boot up Solomon. But knowing this show, they'll probably be like, plot hole, it doesn't work that way. Solomon's destroyed, or they're just never going to mention it.
Or they'll wait 2 seasons, and then there'll be this big reveal at the end where Sirach is back with Solomon and Rehoboam Part 2. I'm trying to think of a biblical name, but I don't have another one. Jezeboam.
Oh. So,
King
so,
James?
but basically next season will be like an apocalypse setting,
Oh, yeah.
even more so.
I don't know, because I'm reading this article with the show creators, and they're just like, we're trying to do this thing. We wanted a show where every season we could like start fresh, and it's a brand new type of show. And
Yo,
How are they
you're
gonna
not. Well,
start
you're
fresh
not
when
doing that.
the majority of the world is in chaos because they just realized that their lives are not their lives.
I think there's still a chance that they go back to a park.
I don't think so. The parks are done.
Well, they have to go back to the park if they're gonna touch back on the whole fidelity test. I feel like they have to go back to the park at some point.
I mean, technically speaking, you're right. They could go back to the park because we saw Charlotte Hale literally building an army. Delos is still alive.
What was the park they were at for those military training things?
That was
It-
Park 5. It was
Pretty
like
sure it was Warworld. I think the buildings were the Warworld buildings.
Okay.
training world.
It was Universal Studios.
Yeah, it's the backlot.
And that's literally
The
where
tram
we're at.
is the tram ride.
I was like, that's Universal Studios. That's literally the backlot tour.
I'm not so sure. Because Warworld, they actually found a really cool place in Europe to do it in. But
I
if
think it
you're
was
right, then it's not the same set as Warworld. It might be a
No,
different
no,
park.
it was Universal Studios. It was the backlot. It's the modern version of the backlot.
Well, okay, that is true for like filming purposes, but for story purposes of Westworld, that park, I was reading somewhere where that Park 5 was specifically for contracting. So for stuff like that, like training simulations.
So Delos had
For
built
government.
something specific for the government.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But there was a Dolores in there.
Yeah.
Is that the same?
That was
Same
the
Dolores.
So they would just take this host and put it in different parks as needed?
I
Yeah.
think that was like early on, like what Delos probably used to like get money to really start the park.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense to go with
So
government
just
contracts.
or I mean like but I mean purely like how did Dolores end up in that park, are they? Well, I know that like we've seen other hosts in other parks before, but
Probably just repurposed. It's like, okay, we're not using this park anymore. Let's go repurpose these hosts.
Real quick,
This is-
guys. Real quick, Carlo.
Uh-huh.
Chad is saying you were hard to hear, so speak up. And also, paracetamol has joined. Hi,
wait,
Katya.
just them or all of us?
Apparently, just Carlo. I'm listening to the feed. I can
Oh.
hear everybody, but Carlo, for some reason, is a little like distant.
Do I have to like yell?
I don't know. Jazz just naturally has a louder voice. You guys are coming from the same source as Lucas, so you guys just need to talk louder.
Oh, just Carlo and Jazz. Oh shit, so she can't hear me either?
It seems so.
I think we do have to yell.
I think we've
Alright,
seen
I'll yell.
we've seen them recycle hosts before. I mean, Maeve switched parks. I guess it was
And
part of Westworld, though.
And plus Dolores was a solid host that like didn't need like she was there from the beginning.
What did we think of this weird reveal of like you're all duplicates of me? When Dolores was like, "You're all copies of me. I was the first. They just took me and altered me to make the rest of you."
She's comparing herself to God.
No,
Just
she
kidding.
was just saying that she was the first working host, and since she was the first working host, they basically did what she said. They used her as the base blueprint to make the other hosts.
And then modified their characteristics.
I feel like that's somehow gonna play into Endgame for the show at some point. Lucas, thoughts?
I don't know. Is Stubbs in this tub?
When
Stubbs.
when Bernard gets dusty,
Yeah. How long is Stubbs going to be in that tub? Is he the
Uh,
new elf on the shelf?
I'm guessing when he comes back for next season, he'll magically be in shape.
Or he would look like a zombie, because that would be kind of cool.
Zombie Stubbs.
Zombie Stubbs. Decaying and rotting zombie Stubbs.
I just that scene with them.
Like I was annoyed because I was just like, "Motherfucker, we're gonna spend half of next season in Bernard flashbacks to the fucking Valley Beyond."
Mm-hmm.
So I want to kind of go back to Maeve, because Maeve has such a weird, like, it's not even fair how powerful her character is, but Sirach ultimately built like this failsafe to stop her from, like, you know, not listening to commands, and all of a sudden she's able to just
Yeah, they don't. It doesn't seem like they know how to handle Maeve very well.
like, how does she become this powerful?
She had to focus and be true to her heart.
She had to find her purpose. She had to pick a side.
Yeah, how corny is that shit?
She didn't find her potential until she picked a side.
I will say the most accurate scene was Marshawn Lynch bashing through crowds with a riot shield.
All right.
Now that I know that's Marshawn Lynch, like they used the finale to get him to like truck through dudes. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Well, what about
Alright.
when he catches the gas canister and then just like turns and then tosses it back where it came from? For a minute, I was just like, "Who the fuck is that? A host in the crowd?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Marshawn Lynch." Okay.
Yeah, it is all his like his face stuff is off, like his glasses and stuff are off. So it was like I think you were supposed to be like, is that motherfucking Marshawn Lynch? Like this whole time. And then they take his face stuff off and just like, that's motherfucking Marshawn Lynch, and then he fucking runs through that crowd. Oh, I loved it.
Joel says Marshawn couldn't pull it off, and then for some reason says hella quesadillas.
Yeah.
I don't understand that reference.
Marshawn.
All right. So my question for you guys
Skittles.
is: going into season 4, now that we know that, and we all are in agreement that this version of, what's her fuck? Dolores is dead. So obviously it's gonna be Caleb that's gonna be spearheading. Caleb and Maeve spearheading the revolution.
He's John Connor.
Is that gonna be the point person at this point?
Yeah,
person at this point, I guess.
Absolutely. And Aaron Paul deserves it. Aaron Paul, I think, is a brilliant actor. and he deserves another big hit show.
I guess it also makes sense because if you think about the entire season, they've been they couldn't have been more point blank about you are the face, you are the person I chose, you are the one that's gonna lead. It's going to be you, but why me? It doesn't matter. It's going to be you. So I think yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
I really think I don't think we're gonna see Dolores anytime soon.
I think we will.
I think maybe in next season that Aaron Paul will try to bring her back online. He will. He loves her. He low-key loves her.
And
Well,
I think
he'll
she
try to
is the
bring her
face
online.
of the series. One way or another, they will have her there. He may be the new hero of the series,
So
but
wait,
she'll be there.
so is that black skeleton that she has? Is that
That's her
she's
original
an
frame.
Older
That's
version?
the original
Okay,
model of
okay.
the host.
Gotcha. All right.
That's why she was able to block the sword with her arm, which I thought was kind of cool.
But not bullets?
Well, it's like holy. Didn't you see her skeleton?
Holy.
Her
Like blessed by a priest?
her like robotic frame was like not solid.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know how we get so off track sometimes.
I don't know. It's your damn puns. People think about them.
Yeah, Joel's pointing out the OG model was built to be like robots, super
Yes.
strong, whereas the more recent models they built to be more like humans. They're soft. They can die more
Weak.
easily.
They kind of mentioned it earlier, or during that whole entire scene too. It's like the original models were built to last. Mabel was the one that said it. The original models were built to last, and then
Dolores said it.
Dolores said it, explaining it to Maeve, and they built me to last before they made you, which is inferior, like the humans, basically, or something along those lines.
I'm really gonna miss Dolores crying.
She did.
She had such a great story.
But I'm glad she ended up where she did.
Dead and
I
like
think-
left. Like they
No,
didn't
I mean like
they
her
didn't even
lines
bother
of
to take her body.
They just left her behind. It's fine.
Clean
Her
up
body
on
means
all
nothing.
the-
They left her body behind a number of times. It was just another body.
No, that was like a bomb ass host body.
They don't care.
It's fucked up, man.
I mean, for all we know is that just like in the last episode, before they left that room, they grabbed their fucking pearl.
I don't know. Oh yeah, well it was an obsolete or it's wiped out pearl.
Clean pearl.
I mean, there's always data recovery.
That's the other thing about this episode. Like, there's just no encryption or no backup saves of anything ever. Like, you're not gonna back up Rehoibus, and then when someone says erase everything, Rehoibus is just like, okay, boom. You know, there's not like, are you sure you want to do this? There's no password to enter for a complete shutdown. Like, come on.
There's no recycle bin. Can you restore?
You're the show. Yeah, this show is insulting our intelligence with like. I'm already watching a show about AI becoming conscious. You don't think I know how backup saves work?
Side note, speaking of AI, Amazon Upload, really good show. You guys need to watch it.
Oh.
That sounds like AU.
Huh?
Nothing.
Just stop.
Oh wow, really?
Joel wants to know if the creators of Dolores were the #1 purchaser of WD-40 back in the day.
They
So
probably helped
it's
keep them
not just
afloat.
me.
That would be a funny, like, add-on character. Is like.
Hey, WD-40. We live in the Westworld times.
Is that to keep your gym equipment from squeaking?
Yes.
I don't use a WD-40.
Oh, you don't?
No,
thought
I
you
use
put-
that's silicone. WD-40 is bad for that shit.
That jazz face means, uh-oh.
WD-40 is not a lubricant. You don't use WD-40 as lubricant.
Oh, her face just says she's swapped the two.
It's like, Carlo, you better check some of that equipment.
Don't go in this area.
Have you been using the?
No, I haven't.
Jazz, have you been using the WD-40 for boyfriends?
No, clearly she's using the other stuff for boyfriends and the WD-40 for the gym equipment.
Hey, excuse me.
She uses this performance lubricant.
All right, we're getting off track. What did you think of the scene?
I got speed order.
What did you think of the scene with Bernard and his wife, Lucas?
Heartfelt.
Yeah, great. Heartfelt. I
Uh,
loved it. But, you know,
But at the same time, not
that
really
whole Bernard thing wrapped up weird.
Okay,
Marvel.
Lucas.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Was it? Okay, it's not me. It's weird that they just left fucking Stubbs bleeding to death in the car, right?
Yeah.
No mention whatsoever.
Yeah, I guess in a way it's just like, even though they're trying to have like robot rights, they don't really care that much about each other. They just leave bodies behind. They're just like, you're just a robot. I can leave you there for a little bit. I got stuff to do.
They have like a very like suck it up type of attitude towards each other.
Stubbs is like that behind the car. It's fine, Stubbs. I'm gonna make do over here for like maybe 3 hours. Just keep trying to breathe.
Well-
He gets it in with the old wifey.
In all honesty, what's the point of Stubbs? If Bernard has the built-in badass, like, I'm going to kick everyone's ass protocol, and Stubbs is just like sitting there, like, Stubbs has done no great fighting this season.
Stubbs and Maeve.
He's the comedy relief for Bernard because Bernard is so dry.
Yeah, I guess.
You're a good friend, Stubbs. Fuck you, Bernard.
I really felt like the only reason why Stubbs was in the season is because the writers probably had some like epic thing for Stubbs to do, but completely forgot when they were writing the script. So it's like, shit, we have him for another year in his contract.
They needed
So-
someone for Bernard to talk to. He couldn't just be talking to himself all season.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, fuck it, we'll just have him around.
Oh, and we briefly got the guy from season 1.
Lawrence.
Lawrence,
Yeah.
who is Dolores? I
He's
really
not.
believe-
I don't think he's Dolores. I think it's
I don't think
actually
it's Dolores.
Lawrence.
I think that's a Dolores.
I
Pearl.
think it's a huge. I think it's Dolores like reprogrammed Lawrence to do what
so
she
wait,
wants.
you think that wasn't there one more pearl of her?
Yeah.
Of a pearl?
Yeah, it's so weird. We never went to Berlin, right?
No. But I think the last pearl is Lawrence because Lawrence was one of her friends in the park from the beginning. When she has her first adventure, her real adventure with William in season 1, Lawrence is there with her.
I don't know. I disagree.
Well, Bernard never said that Lawrence was Dolores during that scene.
I'm pretty sure if you rewatch the scene, he just about asks, and Lawrence says he's not Dolores.
Paracetamol, that's racist. She kept calling Lawrence Hector the whole time.
Oh, Hector's dead. He did.
In,
Courtesy of
in this
Prince.
show, in this show,
for sure, unless his pearl is again copied.
I'm guessing next season there'll be some moment where Charlotte needs to fuck with Maeve, and then we'll see this new Hector come out that's programmed to obey Charlotte.
Oh,
I know. It's like there's exactly. There's backups when it's convenient to have backups and not when it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why it's like, hey Westworld, enough with the philosophy. Like, just give me robots shooting each other. Okay? Clearly you're struggling. So if you try to take this like heaviness out of it, I'll enjoy myself more and I won't pick apart your stupid script.
That's why we got to go back to the park. We have more fun at the park.
You're gonna get it next season. Jeez, Lucas.
I would even be okay with a prequel season.
No, I would not be okay with that.
A prequel season to
Oh,
introduce
Joel
a new
doesn't like
park.
my t-shirt. He says stop wearing all black so I look like a floating head. See, it's a t-shirt of The Cure with Joy Division and Danzig.
Paracetamol, based on the conversation we're having, I thought you wrote, we have to go
And The
black.
Cure too. And Black Flag. In the back has Pretty Hate Machine and other stuff. But anyway, sorry.
They have to go back to Game of Thrones world and fix everything.
Don't say that stuff. Don't get my hopes up.
And then you're gonna get Lucas talking about elephants again.
Wouldn't it be amazing to just see like the season starts and Maeve is standing behind the new Iron Throne and she uses her katana sword to just chop off Bran's head?
I feel like they would do that on their last season if the ratings really sucked. If Maeve was standing behind the new Iron Throne.
Oh my god, I would take Maeve as the new king of everything. Or queen of everything.
Westworldos?
Yes.
Wow, that was a stretch. I liked it, but that was a stretch.
It should be Westeros.
But Westerworld, right? It would be Westerworld.
That sounds so stupid.
Okay, it's a stupid idea.
It would be Westeros.
Oh yeah.
Does anybody have, as we're starting to wrap this up, any other theories for where we could go in the future?
They have to go back to the fidelity testing and immortality. They have to go back to that. That was like all about season.
Oh yeah,
one.
they brought the immortality thing up. I forgot about that.
And then they started to go off this whole like morality of like AI rights and shit.
I think season 4 is primarily gonna be Terminator.
It's gonna be a fun season if they keep it real time versus going to the Sublime, because I really don't give a shit about the Sublime.
Like, I think it's primarily gonna be Terminator, war, humans versus robots, and then little bits and pieces of Sublime.
That's like Matrix meets Terminator.
With a lot of like spy espionage of like who's a host, who's not, because Charlotte Hale's going to be replacing a lot of people.
Basically.
Other question, Joel's asking, is Solomon dead? I know we talked about the EMP. I'm pretty sure he can just be rebooted. We talked about this earlier.
Personally, knowing the writers and how they wrote this entire season, I think he's dead. It's a plot convenience for them.
Wait, like the actual brother or that backup?
Solomon wasn't the name of his brother.
No, Solomon was the.
Oh
ball.
yeah, you're right.
The ball. I think the ball is like wiped. Like,
Yeah, the EMP killed it supposedly, but you know, who knows?
So I have an interesting thing I just read. Apparently on Reddit, Westworld fans were quick to point out that there's a promotional website for Insight. And if you go to that website right now, it's crashing.
Oh.
It's crashing because, Rehoboam just got destroyed. But
They're doing that augmented reality thing with this show?
But if you stay on the website after it glitches and crashes, there's a staticky screen with looping audio that apparently sounds just like Dolores. And a lot of people are trying to figure out what exactly this voice is saying.
Okay. Then Dolores is in Rehoboam.
Or
given
some
like
version.
12 hours, people on Reddit are gonna, especially now, people have no lives.
Well,
they'll figure
if this
it out.
show, so have you guys heard of this stuff? What's it? Cloverfield did this.
Yeah. Well, Westworld did this before season 3, too.
Really?
They introduced
Okay.
a lot of Rehoboam and Insight before the season started.
Oh, I didn't know any of that. So they're doing this like extended fake real world application stuff
Yeah.
associated with the show. Oh, that's really cool. I'll look more into it.
Apparently, according to people, there's a couple of different, so far, what they think it's saying. Some people thinks it sounds like, which is Rehoboam, and I can unlock the door with the key. Other guesses include, my, you're just another man. Or another guess, which is how it end, anything wrong with knowing the truth. So none of it really makes any sense. But I think it's another version of Dolores, or like maybe it's some weird hybrid mutant Dolores Rehoboam. Rehoboam.
Do you
Rehoboam.
Do you think Charlotte Hale, charlatan, is going to make copies of herself? And that's the army?
No, probably.
I don't know, because she may have learned her lesson from the Prime Dolores and been like, no, fucking copies turn on you. She may just have a bunch of dummies.
Oh, so like those freaky, like weird looking Resident Evil type.
The
hosts?
drone hosts.
All the white ones. with,
Oh
like, the
no!
lights?
Bring back the Ghost Army. Make it scary.
Yeah.
If you're gonna take over the world, make it
There
fucking
you go.
scary. Do the Ghost Army.
And
That'd
she'll
be
probably
pretty
have
sick.
some hosts that she'll bring back, but she'll like give them real personalities and just convince them to be on her side. Because I think Dolores her screw up was copying herself, and then
Too much sentience.
well, it was like,
Dumbed it
I'm going to
down.
copy myself, and I'm the smartest host that leads everybody, and I'm going to force these other copies to follow me.
Yeah, she needs more Clarabelles. What was her name? The one that went crazy. The other
Hold on, I got it in my notes.
Westworld.
It was
Angela?
no
Clementine?
Clementine.
There you go. There you
Why
go.
are you so obsessed with Angela? She wasn't even in this season. Stop trying to make Angela happen.
Stop trying to make Angela happen.
She had the sickest tattoo.
That wasn't Angela.
Oh.
That was I can't remember her name. We talked about that last time too.
Whatever.
Angela was the boring blonde girl that welcomed William to the park. Snake Tattoo was part of Hector's game.
Oh.
Angela was like the
Oh,
skinny girl, wasn't
Angela
she?
was the one with her eyes too far apart.
Yeah, she was like the skinny girl.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Yeah, she had a really big impact on me. She's like the only one that I remember consistently.
She's the one that kept dying.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was a great welcome wagon.
Armistice was the Snake Tattoo.
Armistice! That's her. I like her.
You always talk
But
about
then it
Armistice.
was
Armistice.
also a
I remember her
dragon
name.
in Japanese world.
But I can never remember the Japanese Armistice name.
Mihoko.
Are you making that up, or do you
No.
actually know? Because if you're making it up, you just sound racist.
Because it sounds like you just made Rehoibum a Japanese word.
Roboguchi.
Gucci.
That's the name of a Japanese horror film that we won't. Wait, did you say Robo Gucci or never mind?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
Lucas, I was trying to think of that joke, and I couldn't get it either.
Oh, my movie's called Robo Geisha. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
On that note, we better wrap up.
Sadly, I don't have another. Whenever we end one of these, we never have an idea for another show to review. But I'd like to review something else relatively soon.
AI or not AI? Upload Amazon.
You mean the comedy that we just talked about? We don't want to do comedies.
Fine.
oh, it's a comedy?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's good,
Oh, Space Force is a comedy. Fuck. I do want to watch Space Force. I'm very excited for Space Force. Have you guys heard of Space Force?
Uh-uh.
It's a show written by the guy who did The Office and Parks and Rec. No, I'm sorry. One or the other. I forget.
I'll
I
check
think
it
it's Greg Dan. I think it's Greg Daniels.
Like the American version of The Office?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I it's one or the other. I forget. But it's Steve Carell, and they made a whole show based off of Trump's Space Force idea.
Oh my god, I do want to watch
Yeah,
that.
so it's all these like idiot military people are about to go into space for, like, I don't know what reason.
Did it premiere already?
No, May 24th.
Is Picard
What else
any
is
good?
coming out soon, huh?
Is Picard any good?
I've heard good things.
I've already seen
I
the whole
haven't
thing.
I haven't gotten
but
to it
I'd
yet
be down
because
to
I
talk about
refuse to play CBS's little game.
it. If only there was a free streaming service that you knew about that already had everything.
I don't think you should say that online.
I don't know of one. Do you
Excuse
know of
me,
one, Jazz?
You work in the
What's
entertainment
happening?
industry, Nick, and we do not support these things.
I don't know what we're talking about. I'm just saying if only it existed.
Stupid.
Who would provide such services?
Some
Huh.
idiot.
What
mean, I'm
services
gonna
are
hang
you
out-
talking
talk
about?
God.
The mics
So
have
many-
mysteriously all dropped out.
Let's review another dark and like sinister type show that's thought provoking or like with lots of killing.
But it
Uh,
has to be elephants.
Chat, do you have any suggestions?
So there's two J.J. Abrams dramas coming out on their horror-driven plots on HBO. One he's doing with what's his fucking name? Jordan Peele. So J.J. Abrams and Jordan Peele are doing a mini horror series called Lovecraft Stories or Lovecraft Country.
Of course you're into that.
Is that like American Horror Story esque?
No. So this is based on a novel called Lovecraft Country, and the irony is that H.P. Lovecraft was a massive racist, like an unapologetic, crazy, poetic racist. So Jordan Peele and J.J. Abrams teamed up to tell this story that kind of uses and turns Lovecraft's racism on its head to tell a story about the struggles of racism using Lovecraft characters.
Interesting.
So Lovecraft characters being like the King in Yellow and all the Call of Cthulhu stuff. So I think it should be interesting. I'm very cautious because I think that JJ has lost his way, and the last two Jordan Peele movies were not great.
When does it premiere?
Came out really, huh?
When does it premiere?
I think this month sometime. Let me look that up really quick.
The trailer just came out
But
like
it should
the
be
other day.
interesting. Yeah. I think it was under Be Disgusting that broke it.
No, the original air date's supposed to be around in August.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, okay. That's a while away then.
Well, let's think about it. I think we should probably wrap this up, but let's think about the next show we want to do, and let's try to get something soon. Even if we rewatch something that maybe one person has seen and knows is good, and nobody else has seen yet.
Why do I feel like that's heading in a direction that you want to go?
Actually, I think you guys, especially Lucas, have seen more shows than I have, because I tend to just watch the same shit over and over again.
I'm watching a lot of movies right now more than actual shows. That's what my problem is.
Well, yeah, you're watching horror movies for your other show that you're on.
It'd be nice to choose a show that has a definite end.
Should we allow Lucas to do a shout out to his other show on our show?
I get to do a shameless plug?
Yeah.
the three
What else
people
are we
that
doing
are
over here?
The 3 people that are watching?
Hey, my thing says we have 5 viewers, but I think one is probably Carlo and one is probably you.
Oh, 3 are definitely us. But if you're not following at Shudcast, please follow us on Instagram at Shudcast. We just had our premiere on Saturday, where we discussed all of the Friday the 13th movies and some of the series. Our first episode after that is a double. What's it called? Joel fucked me up. Joel fucked me up on this one. It's not Hatsune Miku Project Future Toe. That's not the director's name. It's Takashi Miike. Takashi Miike. Thank you so much, Joel, for messing me up on that. But it's a Takashi Miike doubleheader of the movies Audition and Ichi the Killer, where we are emotionally drained from having watched those movies back to back. So I think it's a good episode to start on. Look for that premiere episode on all podcast platforms: Apple Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, all of them. Anyone you want, you can find us. Yeah, there you go. It should be in the coming weeks that we'll have that up.
Cool. I will be there this time.
Cool, thank you.
So will we.
Okay.
I think that's it.
That is definitely it. Thank you guys for being here for the season. Chat, thank you as always for being there. Been a good time. We'll see you in 3 years for the next Westworld review.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be so old.
Bare minimum.
I will announce the next show as soon as we know. Guys, we'll talk. Have a good night, everybody.
Well, I'll be 35. She's gonna be how old, Jazz?
And I'm cutting.